Okay, so this is a very quick start guide for those that are curious about using Google Data Studio, and I'm going to be using it with Google Analytics 4, but you can hook up basically any data source that you can find. So this is what it looks like. Well, kind of what it looks like when you first visit Google Data Studio. And they have a bunch of ready-made templates up on top. There's even one called tutorial report that sort of guides you around the interface and tells you how to use it. But I personally don't recommend using any of these because they're quite overwhelming and it's just too much. So instead, I suggest you click on the blank report to create a new blank report. And this is the next step. So this is where you connect one of your data sources. As long as you're logged in to the same Google account that has access to some Google Analytics, then your next screen after you click that card is going to look like this, except there won't be any redacted data sources. But this is where you pick the Google Analytics data that you would like to use to create reports. And then you're in, and that's it. It's very simple. There's usually a table. I think there's always a table like this. And as you can see, there's quite a lot here, but in just a minute or so, you will know enough so that you can get started building your own reports. Because there's only two things you need to know to get going. And those are dimensions and metrics. What they are, what they do, how you use them. So let's get started. Dimension and metrics. The dimension is what you would like to measure. So in this case, you can see it's a device category. So I see all the devices that have visited our websites for a set period of time that you can control. And then there's metrics. And a metric is a metric. It makes more sense in English than it does in Swedish. But a metric is basically how would you like to compare these dimensions? Like how should they be measured according to which metric? So in this case, it's sessions. You can see hardly anyone uses a tablet to visit our website. But here's another more telling example, I guess. So how many languages have people used in their browsers when they visit a website? So I picked country as a dimension. So I can see visitors from Sweden have had 6 different languages in their browser. And as you can see, you might think they're not ordered alphabetically or by language, and then you would be right because they're ordered by the number of sessions, but you can't see that in the table. So you can sort on a metric that isn't visible in the table. But if I want to know what languages, so I know, okay, people use 6 different languages when they visited our website, if they visited from within Sweden. So if I wanted to know what the actual languages were, how do I do that? Well, let's find out. I can actually click and drag a metric and turn it into a dimension. So let's see what happens when I do that. There you go. The metric became a dimension. So now I can see all the names of the languages instead of the count of the languages. And then I can take this further. I can filter it so that it only shows for a specific country, etc. But I'm going to leave that up to you because now you know enough to get started using Google Data Studio and creating wonderful reports that tells you exactly what you need to know. And that only took a few minutes. So congratulations.